Have you ever tried to speak English and suddenly your mind went empty? The word was right there a second ago, but when it was time to say it, it disappeared. Or maybe you studied all night for an exam, and when you looked at the question paper, your brain just went blank. It's not because you're slow. It's not because you're not smart. And it's definitely not because you can't learn languages. The real problem is this: your memory has never been trained for recall. You learned the words, but you never learned how to retrieve them when you need them. And that changes today. In this video, I'm going to show you a simple system that will help you remember vocabulary when speaking, recall information during exams, and stop your mind from going blank at the worst moments. And while you learn how to remember better, you'll also be improving your English naturally just by listening along. So if you're learning a language, preparing for exams, or simply tired of forgetting what you know, stay with me. Because once you understand how your memory really works, you'll stop fighting your brain and start working with it. Let's begin. Step 1. Why you forget, and why that's normal. Quick truth: forgetting doesn't mean your brain is bad. It means your brain is doing its job. We all think, my memory is weak. I'm not smart. I can't memorize like others. Those thoughts create shame and make learning painful. They're also wrong. Your brain isn't a storage box. It's a filter. Every second it's flooded with sounds, images, emotions, conversations, and little details. It can't keep everything, or you'd be overwhelmed. So it asks all day long, is this important? Should I keep this or let it go? What feels important gets kept. What feels unimportant fades. That's not failure. That's smart design. The real problem: no one taught us how to show the brain what to keep. We heard study harder and pay attention, but not how to make info meaningful, when to review it, or how to store it correctly. So memories come in and slip away, not because your brain is weak, because it wasn't trained. The library, fast version. Think of your mind like a library. New info, a new book. If you don't label it, place it, and revisit it, the book doesn't vanish. It just gets lost on the wrong shelf. Forgetting is usually not lost memory, it's unreachable memory. This system builds the path back to it. 2 stops: whiteboard to notebook. New info first lands on a mental whiteboard. If you don't use it, connect it, or see it again, the board wipes clean. Long-term memory is the notebook. Once it's written there, it can last for months, years, sometimes life. Your brain won't move things to the notebook by itself. You guide it with attention, vivid images, little stories, and well-timed reviews. Do that, and recall becomes calm and automatic. You don't need a new brain. You need a new method. Memory is a skill, learned, trained, strengthened, like a muscle, like language, like confidence. Any brain, including yours, can become sharp and reliable with patient practice, the right steps, and a simple belief, I can train this. Say this: my memory isn't weak, it's untrained, and I'm training it now. We're not forcing anything today. We're understanding how memory works. Once you see it, every step that follows gets easier. Step 2. Attention creates memory. You cannot remember what you did not notice. This sounds simple, but it is the root of nearly all forgetting. You do not have a memory problem. You have an attention problem. In our world, everything is loud. Messages, notifications, noise, endless scrolling, constant distraction. Your attention is pulled in 1,000 directions before the day even starts. And the brain is forced to choose, what should I keep? And the brain saves only one thing, the thing you gave your full attention to. Not what you looked at, not what you heard, not what you passed by, but what you truly noticed. So, when someone says, I forget names, it is not because the memory is weak. It is because the attention was never strong. Here is a simple practice. The next time someone says their name, do this. 1. Look at their face. 2. Say the name out loud once. 3. Repeat the name in your mind for 3 seconds. 3 seconds of attention is enough for the brain to say, this is important. Keep this. Not hours of study, not notebooks full of repetition, just 3 moments of presence. Memory begins with attention. Attention begins with slowness. So we must slow our lives enough to see what is in front of us. Right now, you are doing that. Right now, your attention is here, and your memory is already becoming stronger. Step 3. Turn words into pictures. The brain does not remember words easily. Words are thin, flat, silent. But the brain remembers images. Images have color, shape, emotion, movement, meaning. If I say elephant, you do not see letters. You see an animal. So, to remember anything, names, vocabulary, definitions, concepts, we convert words into pictures. This is how we speak the language of the brain. Let us practice. Imagine you meet someone named Lily. If you just say, Lily is her name, your brain will forget it. But if you imagine her hair made of white lilies, or her holding a bouquet of lilies in sunlight. Your brain will remember because now the word has shape. Let us try another. The word volcano. Do not imagine just a mountain. Instead, see a birthday cake, erupting warm chocolate. Hear the boom. Smell the sweet smoke. Feel the heat. Now the word has sound, movement, emotion. This is unforgettable. Let us try together a small memory game. Remember these items: milk, eggs, book, shoes, cat. Do not memorize. Create a story picture. A giant milk carton is sitting on a chair reading a book. It is wearing shoes on its corners like feet. A cat in glasses is watching calmly while eggs fall from the ceiling like snow. Close your eyes. See it. Not think it, see it. Now recall the list. You will find you can say every item in order, not because you tried harder, but because you created meaning. Memory is not about working harder. Memory is about working with the brain, not against it. Step 4. Use the story method. We now go deeper. Your brain loves stories. Your brain grows up with stories. Your emotions awaken inside stories. Your imagination lives inside stories. Stories connect information so it does not fall apart. Lists fall apart. Stories stay together. Let us take a long list. Apple, horse, jacket, candle, ice cream, cloud, socks, chair, tree, monkey. Try to remember it as a list. Difficult. Now let us make a story. A giant apple falls from the sky and bumps a horse. The horse becomes scared and runs into a store where it steals a jacket. The horse lights a candle to see better, but the candle melts a huge ice cream cone. The melted ice cream rises into the air and becomes a cloud, and from the cloud, socks begin to fall like rain. One sock lands on a chair. The chair grows roots and turns into a tree. From the tree, a smiling monkey swings down and hands you a flower. Now close your eyes. See the movie. Walk through it. Now save the list again. You can. Not because you forced your mind, but because you fed your mind the way it likes to eat. Your mind does not eat facts. It eats meaning. Pause. Breathe. Let everything settle. You are doing well. Do not rush. There is no need to grab the knowledge. Let the knowledge land in you, softly, naturally. You are not memorizing. You are learning how remembering happens. There is a difference. Your memory is already changing, and we are only beginning. Certainly, we continue gently, without rushing. Step 5. Spaced repetition. How memory becomes permanent. Memory does not grow in one moment. Memory grows the way a tree grows. Slowly, layer by layer, ring by ring. When you learn something new, your brain does not immediately store it forever. Your brain simply says, "I'll keep this for now, but I'm not sure if this is important." If you never return to that information, the brain releases it. Not because you're weak, not because you are forgetful, but because the brain is smart. It refuses to waste energy storing things that never return. This is why we forget names of people we heard once, vocabulary we studied only one day, chapters we read and never revisited, lessons we heard but didn't reflect on. Your brain is always asking, should I keep this or should I let it go? And the answer depends on only one thing. Does it come back again? If you see the information again later, not immediately, not constantly, but at the right time, your brain says, "Ah, it returned. It must matter. Let's keep it a little longer." If it returns again, "Yes, this is important. Let me store it deeper." If it returns again, "This is part of who we are now. I will protect it permanently." This is spaced repetition, the art of returning to a memory just when the brain is about to forget. Why spacing matters. Imagine writing a word in soft, wet sand near the ocean. The first wave comes, the writing disappears. This is what happens when you study something once. Now imagine writing the same word again and again, but each time pressing deeper. Eventually, the word becomes carved into rock. This is what spaced repetition does. It changes memory from something temporary into something unshakable. How to practice spaced repetition naturally. No apps needed. Think of memory like a small candle flame. If you never touch it again, it goes dark. But if you return just before it fades, you keep the flame alive and stronger each time. Here is the gentle rhythm. 1. Learn it once. The first flame is lit. 2. Review later the same day. The flame grows warmer. 3. Review tomorrow. The flame becomes steady. 4. See it again after a few days. The flame becomes strong. 5. Return after a week or two. Now the flame becomes part of your light. No pressure, no force, no long hours. Just a soft return. A real example, so you feel it. Let's take the word serendipity, finding something good without searching for it. If you read this word once, it disappears like smoke. But watch what happens if you treat it gently. Day 1. You learn the word. You whisper it. Serendipity. Night. Before sleep, you say it again once. Serendipity. No writing, no effort. Day 2. You use it in a small sentence. Finding this video was serendipity. Day 4. You notice it in a podcast or article. You smile. You recognize it. Day 7. You teach it to a friend, even in a small way. Do you know what serendipity means? Day 14. The word appears in your mind naturally. You own it. Now it is no longer a word you memorized. It is a word that lives inside you. It feels comfortable, familiar, warm. Your brain has adopted it. It has become part of your identity. This works for anything: English vocabulary, exam information, concepts for your education, quotes you want to live by, religious verses, life lessons, personal truths. Anything that returns with gentle repetition becomes part of you. The beautiful part: spaced repetition is not discipline. It is kindness. You are not forcing the brain. You are guiding it, calmly, patiently, softly. You are saying, "Here. This matters. Let's keep it." And the brain listens. The brain always wants to help you. It only needs to know what deserves to stay. The essence of step 5. Save this slowly. What I return to, I remember. If it matters to you, you will come back to it. If you come back to it, your mind will protect it. Memory is not about genius. Memory is about love. What we love, we return to. What we return to becomes part of us, and when something becomes part of you, you never lose it again. Step 6. Emotion makes memory strong. There's a truth that lives deep inside the brain. You remember what you feel. Think back to your life. Do you remember what you ate last Tuesday? Probably not. But you remember the moment someone hurt you, or the moment someone loved you, or the moment you laughed so hard your ribs ached. Why? Because the brain does not save information. The brain saves emotion. Inside your mind is a small but powerful guardian called the amygdala. Its job is to look at every moment and decide, this is meaningful, keep it, or this is ordinary, let it fade. Emotion is the signal that tells the amygdala, this matters. Make a memory here. When you attach feeling to something you want to remember, it stays. You can choose many kinds of emotion: curiosity, surprise, joy, sadness, pride, excitement, even humor. Humor is powerful. Silliness is powerful. Exaggeration is powerful. If you want to remember, do not just think, feel. Let us try an example. You are learning the date, April 15th, 1912, the sinking of the Titanic. If you memorize it like a number, it dissolves. But if you imagine the cold ocean, the music still playing, mothers holding their children, strangers offering their seats to others, the quiet bravery of acceptance. Now the date has weight. It has heart. It has story. It cannot be forgotten. Or take vocabulary. Abandon, to leave something behind. Do not only memorize a definition. Find a feeling, a dream you gave up, a person who walked away, a moment where you moved on. Suddenly, the word is alive. Memory is life. Anything with life stays. So when you learn, connect the idea to a moment, to a meaning, to a feeling. This is how memory and understanding become one. Step 7. Teach what you learn. The memory multiplier. There's a saying in old philosophy: to learn once is to know. To teach once is to remember. Teaching is the final stage of memory. When you teach, you must recall the idea, organize the idea, express the idea. This is not passive. This is active memory. This is ownership. When you explain something to someone else, your brain says, "This is important. I must store this securely because we use it." So teaching is not something you do after mastering something. Teaching is the way you master something. And you don't need a classroom. You don't need a student. You don't need an audience. You can teach by explaining it to a friend, telling it to a family member, speaking it to yourself in the mirror, or recording a 30-second voice note. But the most powerful form is simple. Teach one sentence from what you learned today. Example: you learned the word procrastinate, to delay doing something. If you leave it alone, it fades. But if you say to a friend, procrastinate means delaying something important. I procrastinate doing the dishes. Your brain lights up. You have recalled, organized, spoken, applied. This is how memory locks. Learning is planting the seed. Teaching is watering it. Use both. Step 8. The Mind Palace. Memory through place. Your mind is extraordinary at remembering locations. You can remember the layout of your childhood home, the path to school you walked years ago, the shape of rooms you have not entered in decades. Why? Because space is meaningful. The brain maps place deeply. The Mind Palace is a technique that uses this natural strength. You choose a place you know well: your home, your school, your favorite street. Then you walk through it in your imagination, slowly and intentionally. Every room, every doorway, every object is familiar. This familiarity is your memory foundation. Now, you place images inside these rooms, not objects from real life, but symbolic, meaningful pictures that represent what you want to remember. For example, to remember the planets in order: living room, Mercury, a hot frying pan melting; kitchen, Venus, a bottle of beautiful perfume spraying pink mist; bathroom, Earth, a globe spinning in the bathtub; bedroom, Mars, red dust covering your pillow; balcony, Jupiter, a giant balloon planet bouncing slowly; stairs, Saturn. Golden rings wrapped around the stair rail. Terrace. Uranus. An icy cube shivering in the sun. Front gate. Neptune. Ocean waves splashing at your feet. Then, to recall, you simply walk through the palace in your mind, room to room, image to image, memory to memory. There is no effort. The path is already familiar. The mind palace works because places are stable, stories are meaningful, images are memorable. It is a home for memory, a sanctuary of knowledge, a personal archive only you can walk through. Start small. 1 hallway, 5 rooms, 5 items. Review once a day for 1 minute. Your mind will surprise you with its power. Pause here. Close your eyes for just a few seconds. Notice your breathing, your shoulders, your thoughts, the quiet inside you. This learning is not heavy because it is not forced. It is settling itself naturally, like sand settling to the bottom of clear water. Your memory is already changing, not because you are trying harder, but because you are learning to work with your mind, not against it. You are doing well. Rest in that knowledge. We continue, slowly, with presence, with gentleness. You do not need to push. Just receive. Step 9. Review before sleep. The sacred 10 minutes. There is a moment in every day where memory becomes soft, open, and deeply receptive. It is the moment just before sleep. All day long, your brain collects sounds, sights, words, emotions, ideas, fragments of experience. But at night, your brain becomes a quiet librarian. It begins sorting, organizing, and deciding. What should I keep? What should I release? And the brain uses one signal to decide. What did you touch last? Whatever you look at, think about, or feel in the final moments before sleep is interpreted as important. If the last thing the brain sees is scrolling, noise, arguments, random videos, meaningless fragments, then the brain saves those. It throws away what you meant to remember. This is why so many people say, "I study, but I forget." It is not because the brain is weak. It is because the last thing it saw was not what mattered. So we do something beautifully simple. The night review ritual. 5 minutes only. Before you sleep, sit comfortably. Turn off your phone or silence it. Open your notebook or memory list. Look at 3 to 10 things you learned that day. Say each one softly or silently. Close your eyes. Picture the memory. Breathe once. Sleep. No pressure. No intensity. No perfection needed. Just a gentle review. Because the brain will whisper, "This is what we keep." Do this every night, not as discipline, but as a loving closing of the day. Your memory will become rooted. Your sleep will become deeper. Your confidence will become quieter, steadier, warmer. Memory grows in silence, not in noise. Step 10. Write to remember. Handwriting as the memory anchor. Writing by hand is one of the most powerful tools we have, not because it is practical, but because it is human. Your hand is connected to your mind in a way typing does not reach. Typing is fast. It passes through you like wind through trees. But handwriting is slow, intentional, thoughtful. Your mind must slow down, organize, shape each word, and reflect on meaning. Writing is how you tell the brain, this is real, this matters, keep this. So choose one notebook, just one, not many, not scattered pages, not different apps, not random screenshots, one simple notebook. This notebook will become your memory garden, your English growth record, your personal archive of understanding. When you learn something new, write it like this: word or idea, a simple meaning in your own words, a short personal sentence, a tiny image or memory connected to it. Example: word, resilience. Meaning, the ability to recover and rise again after difficulty. Sentence: after my setbacks, I continue moving forward. That is resilience. Image: a tree bending in the wind but still standing. This is not studying. This is planting. And memory grows from seeds. Step 11. Active recall. Closing the book and trusting your mind. Learning is not reading. Learning is not watching. Learning is not listening. Those are input. Memory happens in output. Memory grows when the brain pulls something from within itself and recreates it. This is the moment of remembering, and it is where the brain becomes strong. Here is the practice. After learning, do not look at the page again. Close it. Then ask yourself gently, what did I just learn? How would I explain this to someone else? How would I describe this in my own words? Even if you remember only a little, that is enough. Even if you feel unsure, that is perfect. Because the moment of trying is the moment of strengthening. Do this every day, after videos, after reading, after lessons, after conversations. Memory is not built in the moment you understand. Memory is built in the moment you remember without looking. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to try. Your brain strengthens itself, like a muscle lifting something just slightly heavy, just enough every day. Step 12. Protect your mind from overload. The garden of inner quiet. We arrive now at the final step. Perhaps the most important one. Your mind is powerful, but it is also delicate. It cannot hold everything. It is not meant to. When the mind is overloaded with constant notifications, loud scrolling, endless comparison, information with no meaning, noise without silence, memory weakens. Not because it is failing, but because it is overflowing. Imagine your mind as a garden. If weeds grow without limit, the flowers cannot breathe. If the soil is never cleared, nothing can take root. If noise fills all empty space, quiet cannot enter. And memory grows only in quiet. So we must create space. Not much, just enough. Daily quiet practice. 5 to 15 minutes. Once a day, let your mind rest. No phone. No messages. No scrolling. No stimulation. Just stillness. Sit. Walk. Look at the sky. Breathe. Be where you are. This is not meditation. This is remembering your own life. Because when the mind becomes still, memory becomes clear. When silence enters, thoughts organize themselves. When input decreases, clarity returns. Protect your attention like you would protect someone you love. Be gentle with what you allow in. Not every voice deserves entry. Not every message deserves reaction. Not every moment requires stimulation. The mind needs room to be a home, not a marketplace. And memory needs peace to grow. The Night Memory Ritual. 60 seconds that change everything. Do this tonight, not tomorrow, not someday. Tonight. 1. Sit at the edge of your bed. 2. Place your hand over your heart. 3. Take one slow breath. 4. Say softly, "What did I learn today?" 5. Recall just one thing. 6. Picture it gently. 7. Whisper, "Keep this." 8. Close your eyes. 9. Sleep. This is enough. This is powerful. This is the beginning of trust between you and your mind. Simple enough to remember forever. Say this softly, like a prayer to your own mind. Memory begins with attention. The brain remembers pictures, not words. Stories connect what would be forgotten. What returns again over time becomes permanent. Memory is strongest when it includes feeling. Teaching something makes it ours. The mind palace gives memory a home. What we review before sleep is what we keep. Writing by hand is the save button. Active recall strengthens the roots of memory. Silence protects clarity. A calm mind remembers. A crowded mind forgets. This is your new relationship with memory. Gentle, steady, human. Final message. Your memory is not weak. It was only waiting for you to learn how to speak to it. Your mind is not your enemy. It has always tried to protect you by removing what seemed unimportant. Now that you know how to show it what matters, your memory will begin to open itself again. This is not the end of learning. This is the beginning of remembering. So when you speak your English, you will speak it with clarity because you will remember your words. When you study, you will study with confidence because you will trust your mind. And when you move through life, you will move aware, present, awake. The mind you wanted was always here, waiting. If this teaching touched your mind or heart, and you want to continue growing your memory and your English, slowly, peacefully, wisely, subscribe, not for the algorithm, but for yourself, for the person you are becoming. Here we do not rush. We do not compete. We do not chase. We grow together. Your mind is ready. Your path is open. And your memory is awakening.